Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna continue on with the story and we're gonna see what happens with the aftermath of the star map that we just collected from the previous episode. So let's get into it.
Genchopa chawi tikchok twis yun kun. Watuyama kama wona henak nek. Bugra shak kunti chiwa mchawa. Dong abuk shami nonok.
I'm Bastila, yes. I take it that you know my mother?
Bona na kachu. Kicha badwang. Wanga kum kiba bu mulera. Kakin chak nawa gawa bakon. Donk kiba nukunek. Tong abuk sha nagnong.
Is there something I can do for you, miss? As you can see, we're in quite a hurry.
Kakin cha na kwat na bon kon. Wana kumbes. Chi pala mulek. Tong ki pa nagnonek. Tu nik ton chu chun ki nemolek rabest. Wuf mala nibo gurk.
My mother's condition?
Ti un pa do punta krita. Ak ti kondo ona chaba chisa wanki. Ti toki grantu kon chi chan kun green kanchan tu pro. Bok wala no bok cha. Nichi kon chuva kin lorta ikakun.
I've not seen my mother since I joined the Order. Do you know what's happened? Did she say anything about my father?
Genchopa chawi tikchok twis yun kun. Watuyama kama wona henak nek. Bugra shak kunti chiwa mchawa. Dong abuk shami nonok.
I see. Where did you meet her? Do you remember?
Chachika don mulaka watayuma ka wamahona nek. Ashanti ton unumani patoka. Wana kuna best chinga pala multonki.
Part of me would rather not see her at all.
Yeah.
If she's really sick.
She just dissolved
We shall
into
see.
nothing, into thin air.
나보다 니 winkies 막토마 wanna kun best chingpa marulira tok chingbang non kek tok ninja mulira rabes Puyabi just kuna chiktanai ina kun ma marulira rachikun slimo patona mundi hadonga chikon kabi
My mother was supposed to be here somewhere. Ask if they've seen her.
나보다 니 winkies 막토마 wanna kun best chingpa marulira tok chingbang non kek tok ninja mulira rabes Puyabi just kuna chiktanai ina kun ma marulira rachikun slimo patona mundi hadonga chikon kabi
We should try to find her. I doubt she wants to be kept waiting.
Yatuka ulwan kinkuna ba murira rachikun mucha shakpangpa
Ikukuno no ba mulira tikun. Tonghit kun chonching. Ne boboje mata ne punage. Dolpi kikiuana. Takom justach miki grabal mogo. Kachi ita hodunga. Kuyami juz chikata na patoga ya fulki gokogala jiji. Gawa na bot atagwa. Kagidora tikun watatimona iya bola. Tolpa da bongwale kando nangu chuchut. Kavadum ku pelio botenya. Bonanay kuchu. Hawaga boska chokola. Mucha shagpanka. Ronda di hotonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tongking ba nunotek. Tokning chatukunde mulerabes. Achuta. Wonga kun bis dolbi kikuyana. Dong patugas makdelia.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. But I'll talk about that more when we actually get to Manon. But it's not going to be for quite a while. So hopefully I will remember to talk about it. But yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of time before we actually get to Manon.
Yeah? I'm sorry, do I know you?
I'm here, Mother, but don't you recognize me?
What do you expect when I haven't so much as had a picture of you since you left? Do you know how long I've been trying to find you?
You knew as well as I communication would be impossible once I joined the Order. Now what is this about? Where is Father?
Then you haven't heard. I should have known.
Has something happened to him? Are you going to tell me or not?
Your father is dead, Bastila. That is part of the reason why I was looking for you.
Dead? What happened? What did you do to him?
Isn't this a lovely reunion? Already she's flinging insults at me. Tell me, you're one of her friends. Do you treat your mother this way?
My mother's not dead, but
Is that so? Well, I'll be joining her soon enough, I suppose.
I was told you were sick. Are you actually dying, or is this merely melodrama for my benefit?
Such sweet things, you say. Perhaps I should tell you everything first before we start arguing again.
You could start by telling me what you got Father into that killed him.
I hadn't realized Jedi was so spiteful. You want me to tell you I brought your father here for an expedition, do you? You want to blame me for his death? You never accepted that your father loved going on his treasure hunts, leaving you alone with me. I was always to blame for everything. What else is new? So yes, fine. I brought your father here to look for great dragon pearls. He took an expedition into the Tatooine desert, and he died.
How can you be sure of that? Father is an experienced...
Do you think I would look for you if I wasn't sure? They were attacked by a great dragon, and one of the guides fled the battle. He saw your father killed.
I see. So what do you want from me? Credits?
Don't be insulting. I want you to use those senses of yours. I want you to find him. I want you to bring back his holocron.
Why? So you can sell it?
Is it too much to ask that I have something to remember your father by? Of course it is, isn't it? You couldn't be bothered.
We're very busy on a mission from the Jedi Council. I doubt I'll have the time. Ask my companions if you doubt me. What remains would there be? Great dragons are huge predators, easily able to devour a human, and the desert is a harsh environment. Finding my father's remains would be an even more impossible task than finding his holocron, an ignoble end to a fine man. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with what she's asking. Are you actually sick, Mother?
What difference does it make to you? None, I'm sure. Just find your father's holocron, and you won't have to worry about me again either way.
That's the kind of response I would expect. Very well. We'll look for the holocron if we have time. I can't promise any more than that.
I believe your father was headed north towards the Sand People Enclave. I would check along that route, dear. Do please hurry. Back already? Have you even looked for the holocron yet?
I have the holocron, Mother. I'm just not sure I want to give it to you.
And why not? Would you deny me even that?
I've never denied you anything, Mother. You may think I don't remember what it was like before I left for the Order, but I do. You were the one who pushed Father to go on one treasure hunt after the other. You loved living in wealth. You think I don't remember the fights? You were eager to send me to the Jedi even though I didn't want to go. You took Father away from me. And now this holocron is all I have of him.
Fool girl. You have a strange way of remembering things. That wasn't...
No, I don't wish to argue with you anymore, Mother. It's time we parted ways now, for both our benefit. You don't know her. My mother is notoriously deceptive when she wants something. Why should she have the holocron?
Is it too difficult to believe that I am a dying woman who simply wishes to see her husband one last time?
I find it difficult to believe anything you say, Mother. You're right. It shames me, but I find it difficult to let go of the past. I'm sorry, Mother.
I was hard on you, dear. I wasn't a very good mother to you. I know that. Your father loved you so. He wanted you to be just like him. He wanted to take you on his hunts, but I said they were too dangerous. I always tried to keep him from the dangerous ones, but he would have none of it. It was a reckless life we led. Always moving. I didn't want that for you.
So that's why you gave me to the Order?
What do your father and I have to show for all those years of hunting? Nothing. That was no life for anyone, especially not someone as gifted as you, your father. He spent all his last years trying to pay for my treatments. That's why he went for the pearls. I begged him not to, but...
Your treatments?
I'm dying, Bastila. I did not lie about that. It's been a long time in the coming, and there's really nothing that can be done anymore. I told your father to let me go, but you know how he was. Stubborn, like you.
I'm so sorry, Mother. I don't know what to say.
Keep the holocron, Bastila. It would do me good to know you have it. This talking to you. This is what I really needed before
I know. Thank you. I'm glad we talked too.
Well now, you said you had important business, and you were never one to mince words. You there. You take care of my daughter, you hear me? That's good. I'll feel a lot better knowing there's someone to watch over.
Where are you going to go?
It doesn't matter, dear. Don't you worry about me.
Here, take these 500 credits. That's all I have. Go to Coruscant and find a doctor. I'll meet you there after what I have to do.
But I already told you there's nothing that can...
Please take it. I want to see you again, when we can talk.
All right, I will. You do what you have to, Bastila. You go make your father and I proud.
I'll try. Farewell, Mother. How can I help? Yes. That brought me a lot of peace. More than I thought it would have. Thank you for urging me toward it. After all my training, I would have thought it would have been easier. Apparently, I still have much to learn.
Ah, just the person I was hoping to see.
Save it, Griff. I'm not talking to you. I want no part of whatever you're involved in.
Okay, sis, I see you still mad. Fair enough. I don't think you could help me with this anyway. It's, more of a job for your friend here. As you may know, tack glands can be refined to a very potent powder. It's the primary ingredient in Teresian ale. That's what makes it so strong. Of course, now that Taris is pretty much wiped from the face of the map, Teresian ale has become somewhat scarce and, very, very valuable. Luckily, I know the secret recipe. I know this guy. He's with the Exchange. Now, if I give him a small sample of Torresian ale, he says he can synthesize it and reproduce it in mass quantities. Problem is, I need one of those tack glands to make the first batch, and now that Taris is a smoking ruin, the only place to find tack is on Kashyyyk. If you can get your hands on one of those tack glands, I'll make it worth your while.
Griff, are you blind? Can't you see you're talking to a Jedi? We're out here trying to save the galaxy. We can't waste time on this.
Please, you have to help me. I promised this guy from the Exchange a sample of Torresian ale. If I don't come through for him, he's gonna break my legs. Or worse. Yeah, I knew you'd come through for me. You won't regret this. You'll see. Just don't take too long, okay? This guy from the Exchange could stop by any day. I kind of told him I already had the stuff, so if he shows up and I'm empty-handed, well,
Okay.
let's just say I really, really hope it doesn't come to that.
Check that out.
Greetings again from the offices of Zerga Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else? I see that, but do you have the all-important chieftain's gaffy? That was what you agreed to get for us. Well, that is a very big headache that you've removed. I'm sure there are still sand people out there, but they'll be quieter now. I think I'll give you a bonus for this. You've more than lived up to your side of the bargain. Zerga Corporation thanks you. It would be valuable to have someone on call if the sand people made another incursion. I think you're right. Yes, here's an additional reward. Once again, Zerga Corporation thanks you. Greetings again from the offices of Zerga Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else? Of course, you've done a good job for us and I'm happy to pay you. You have fulfilled your end of the bargain, and Zerga Corporation is grateful. The Sand People will be less of a threat without their chieftain. I will, of course, continue to give you bounties on regular gaffy sticks. Everyone helps. Farewell. Zerga Corporation welcomes your future inquiries.
Okay.
Query. What do you wish to ask of him, Master? Protocol. This will be a very sensitive topic, Master. You will want to be careful with your questions or risk offending him. Not that that is much of a worry. Translation. Translation. You have been told that to be considered worthy of hearing the histories, you need to bring him a dragon pearl from a great dragon. Translation. He says the discussion is closed until you fulfill this condition. He thinks you are just making fun of his traditions. Translation. Translation. He is stupefied, Master. He never thought you could return with such an item. Such a thing has not been done in many years. Translation. He will allow you to meet the storyteller, but also gives a warning. If you dare to repeat the histories incorrectly, you will be killed. Translation: the storyteller will be summoned to one of the rooms here in the Enclave. He seems to think this is a great honor for you, Master. Translation.
Okay, so I thought it would take me to the...
We are free to leave.
Okay.
Translation. He identifies himself as the storyteller, Master. He has been told of your warrior skills and will speak the history to you. Translation. Translation. There is only one accepted history, passed orally to each successive generation. Translation. A book or datapad can be taken away, cheapening the value of what it contains. To commit it to paper or storage is to remove it from the people. Translation. Translation. You may choose to hear the history, or you may choose not to. Their history is a single entity that cannot be partitioned. Translation. The only exception is in continuing the tales once they have begun. If you leave, when you return, he will continue from where he left off. Translation. Translation. It begins with the ancient times. They were not sand people, for there was no sand. The land was green with life, and they walked without wrappings. Translation. Though the land was beautiful, they lived apart from the land. They built their walls high and saw beyond the horizon. They dared to reach the stars. Translation. There are no words for how long ago this was. It was before the outsiders, before the abduction, before the cities fell, before the builders. Cautionary. I should warn you, Master, that any questioning of their interpretation may be seen as trying to change the meaning of what was said. Clarification. They may consider this to be speaking the words in error, a blasphemy they would attempt to kill you for. Obedient. I will ask whatever you wish, Master. Translation. Translation. His arrogant people touched the stars, and this sin drew the attention of the builders. The builders did not touch the stars, they lashed them to millstones. Translation. Great demons of metal stripped the world of its riches, until all that was left was the green of the ground. The great cities were lifted away. Translation. Those that had used the wealth were taken along with it. Transgressors abducted to serve past the sky, seeding the stars with penitent, adaptable slaves. Translation. Translation: there came a time when the builders were also judged for their crimes. After generations, a plague weakened them, and the time of the Great War began. Translation: the builders faltered, and his people realized why they had been punished, so that they understood the crime, and would now strike down the greater offender. Translation: they worked chaos in the machines, so they destroyed themselves. The builders fought back, laying waste to the green that had been misused with fire from above. Translation: soil became glass, grinding to sand, but the fight was long planned, and his people were safe. Deep in cave homes carved from valley wall, they were free. Translation. Editing, if I may, Master. This section of his tale details several millennia of the Long Walk, their nomadic wanderings as they accept their identity in a desert world. Rather than strain my circuits on his dialect, might we just assume there was much fighting over who has the biggest bantha and move on to more recent things? Resignation. Very well, Master. Translation: the tribes spread far, distant from each other, but all as sand people, and all cherished the land that remained. The sand would not be misused. Translation: then machines fell from the stars again, outsiders like you that brazenly walked apart from the land. And greater still was the insult to come. Translation: these outsiders reminded them of their past transgression, of the time when they too walked apart from land. The outsiders, your kind, looked like their ancient abducted. Translation: so it is to the current sons that the Sand People hate all outsiders and give them no footing. You come again, time after time, adaptable slaves to the machine. Editing. The last 1,000 years are full of conflicts with different groups of attempted planetary settlers, all of whom are poorly described, long dead, and likely untraceable. I believe I have truncated it down to the usable bits in what was already said. I hope it is enough, Master. Translation.
Okay, I just wanted to hear what he had to say because I had never heard it before. So, okay, it's in the completed quest. So we got Mission's brother, which I need to go to Kashyyyk for. Need to go to Manon, the main story. Bastila. And we got Middleman, which I think has something to do with Manon. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it does. I'd actually have to look that up to see, because I do not remember um, where this quest is to complete it. Usually, not usually. If I was gonna play as the dark side, I would just take it and the quest would be complete. But I'm actually wanting to give this back to her, so I'm gonna see what I have to do for that. If you guys know down in the comments before we get to Manon, um, do let me know, and because have I have just forgotten, so. But like I said, I think we have to do that one in Manon. This one, we can do it right away, which will give us dark side points, or that'll be resolved down in the further of the story. I know that for a fact, and I know where to go to solve it. So, but we can't do it yet. So this one's gonna be here for quite a while. Then the rest is just companions, and then we have to return the stowaway to Dantooine. So yeah, we are done here on Tatooine. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, and do consider subscribing. Now that we're going to move on to a different planet and get our final companion, because we still don't have him yet. So the next planet will be Kashyyyk. But in the meantime, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching, and do consider subscribing as we continue forward with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Thanks, guys.